So now that we understand on Etsy how to set our shipping policies and our return policies, and then we can use those policies when importing those products on our AutoDS account, we can choose that specific policy. What do you actually do once a buyer reaches out to you and wants to return the product? I mean, you've got the policy, but how do you actually go around with the return and replacement? So if you offer free returns in your store policies, as you can see right here in the cheat sheet, all you have to do is coordinate with the buyer through Etsy's messages and send a return label. There are no cases like there are on eBay. So the buyer is simply going to reach out to you and you're going to have to enter them. So providing customer service is one of the most important things when it comes to handling your Etsy seller account. If you want to make your sales and profits and keep your Etsy seller account healthy and active for years and years on end, you have to provide excellent customer service. And the way to do that is to check messages from your buyers every day. I showed you where the messages section is in your Etsy dashboard. So take advantage of that and make sure that at least once per day, you're going through your messages to see if you have anything that your buyers need from you. So once again, if you offer free returns, you're going to have to get the return label from your supplier and send it to the buyer through Etsy's messaging service. Then once the item is returned, since you've got the tracking information on the return label, you can track it. And once you see that it was returned to your supplier will send you a refund and you will send a refund to your Etsy customer. Now, if you offer paid returns, which means you will return the product, but the buyer is going to pay for it, then in this case, you simply need to send the buyer the return address. The buyer is going to let you know what the tracking information number is, and you're going to track the shipment. Once it returns to your supplier, same thing. You're going to get a refund and you can issue the refund to your Etsy customer as well. And if you don't offer returns at all, well, you can just tell the buyer that you do not offer returns and it says so in your policies. But what happens to the fees that you paid Etsy? You already paid the 6.5% transaction fee. You already paid the 4% payment processing fee and any other fee that you had to pay on top of that, maybe an ad fee or anything else. So if you send a refund to the buyer, how about you getting a refund from Etsy? So you don't really have to worry about that because once you send a refund through the Etsy Shop Manager, Etsy will reimburse your seller account with the seller fees that were associated with that order. However, there are sellers who offer returns for more than 180 days. That's more than 6 months. So if you're one of those sellers that's giving the customers this great advantage in your service, if you send a refund after 180 days, you cannot send that refund through the Etsy Shop Manager. It's got a limit of 180 days. Once you exceed that, you'll have to send the buyer a refund through PayPal or any other payment processing service. And in this case, Etsy will not reimburse you for your selling fees. So think really hard before you decide to give more than 180 days returns. In my case, it's best to give 30 to 60 days if your supplier can offer it. And that's really all that you need to provide great customer service and gain the customer's trust in purchasing from your store.